Sick of battling pests, diseases, and expensive crop inputs in order to grow produce, organic banana farmer Shane Plath was ready to declare bankruptcy and throw in the towel before he discovered the soil food web approach. In this case study, Dr. Elaine Ingham shows how Shane and his family brought their 5,000-acre operation back from the brink.
Shane Plath was an organic grower in South Africa, growing bananas main crop and then a few other crops like spinach, green beans, ginger. Shane's organic farm were having problems. It was, climate change, pests, waterlogging diseases, just having problems in a number of different ways. He was considering going chemical because he just wasn't making it using the organic approach. Input costs were very high. He was really considering just selling the farm and walking away. Yields were decreasing because of all of the diseases and pests and problems. Shane was making compost, so under the organic approach, making compost, he learned when he started working with us that it was anaerobic and that was promoting the diseases and pests. So when he was making putrefied organic matter, not compost, he was having to spend a lot of money on organic forms of chemicals. Shane said, all my efforts were futile. Things were going from bad to worse and continuing down, and desperately searching for a way to turn things around. And so when he found my work online, he signed up, he learned all this information about the biology, what really he needed to be doing. So let's do a really organic system. We're not using any of these toxic materials. We're putting the biology back, which is how nature has operated with plants for the last billion years. So after he trained, he came back and he trained 25 of his people on the farm how to make and apply biocomplete soil amendments. So he bought a number of brewers, started making the soluble extracts, making the teas, making his own compost, learned how to do it correctly. It was less expensive, it was less time consuming to do it right than it was to do it wrong. So applying this material out onto the soil, somewhere around 1/2 ton to 4 tons per acre of biocomplete compost, depending on how bad was the biology. The lower all of the sets of organisms were, of course, the more compost you're going to put on. Where things are not bad and not doing all that badly, you put on less biocomplete compost because you're only trying to inoculate the missing organisms. So he's out there putting on the compost, he's applying the biocomplete liquid amendments, saying here that soil biology improved drastically, very rapidly. Looking at his nice bunches of bananas, you can see where these trees were in really bad condition. When you see the black color, these plants had their root systems in way too wet soil. And so it causes this discolorization of the banana itself. We want to see green plant material, not blackened, not anaerobic. So turning things around happened very rapidly. Here's an overall picture of a portion of his banana plantation back in December of 2015. All the plants are looking unhappy, they're unhealthy, they're not a nice green color. And then after putting the biocomplete compost out, applying the biocomplete liquid amendments, here we are in June of 2017, where good yields are starting to happen. So visible and rapid, enough to the point where he's not going bankrupt. He can pay his workers. He can think about additional management practices. So here we are down on the ground. I mean, do these even really look like banana trees to you? They're unhappy, they're sick, they're unhealthy. They don't have roots to speak of in that soil. June of 2017, all of the plants are recovering the root systems. Starting to grow way down into the soil, mycorrhizal colonization starting to appear. Yields have increased. They don't have the looper worms. The grasshoppers aren't present anymore. The cutworms in the soil cutting the roots off. All the expensive organic inputs have been drastically reduced, and as time goes by, should not be needed at all anymore. So, from Shane, giving credit where credit is due. Yeah. We have to listen to nature. We have to pay attention to the way the system was actually designed to work and not think that we as human beings know better, that we can come in here with the engineering approach and conquer nature. That's not the way it works. Warring with nature is a really bad idea. We might be able to win a battle or two, but long term, nature is going to win the war, and we need to stop trying to pretend that we can outdo nature.
At the Soil Food Web School, we help farmers to increase their yields and free themselves from chemical dependency by replenishing the biology in their soils.